I am never really sold on the idea that the poot is quote unquote anti-New World Order. And I'm also not sold on the fact that he answers to no one, right? I think that those two things definitely have to be taken into account. Now, at the same time, I do think that he feels threatened by NATO. I do think that he doesn't want to be a part of that organization or that aspect of the UN and the push for global governance, et cetera. I think it's very, very complex. But let me just give you an example of a real frontman that's pushing into the poot universe that is largely being ignored, and it's almost cartoonized, and it should really, really be dissected by more and more in the alternative media. Elon fucking Musk is nobody's friend, okay? And the fact that he put 9% into Twitter is nothing compared to the fact that he is actively engaged in trying to start World War III right now. He launched what he says are Starlink satellites, okay? Everybody has to understand that is fiction, okay? They are not Starlink satellites. They are DARPA's Blackjack satellites. Openly, SpaceX piggybacks these. These are Mandrake 2s. They ride SpaceX. He puts them anywhere he wants in the world, or rather, anywhere the military wants in the world, because they're his largest contractor via SpaceX rockets. They are openly being utilized for small drones to do kamikaze-style attacks on tanks in Russia right now. He is having fights with members of parliament and talking about one-on-one combat with Putin. These are things that we have to worry about. The idea he is also being set up as some kind of a free speech savior right now is fiction. Okay, he is not doing that whatsoever, and we have to start acknowledging that. Like, I see people worshiping this guy. Can you imagine if a multi-billionaire, the guy that did best in COVID, by the way, increased his fortune 600%, look into it, did the best out of anybody. His biggest contractor ever is the military-industrial complex, SpaceX, okay, period. Tesla is subsidized by the government, and DARPA has their own brain chip now for 5 decades, and he does Neuralink as well. Are we like slow? Do we not get it? Why? Because he tweets about people should have free speech. Well, I didn't notice that Alex Jones got his Twitter account back today because of Elon Musk. I didn't notice that they took off the warnings. Okay, I didn't notice that my shadow ban has gone away. I didn't get a blue check mark today. Did you guys? So people have to understand that dude is 100% front. He is as fucking dangerous as it gets. And he is putting military equipment up in a war zone that is killing people. So, hey man, we're not in Kansas anymore. That should be the top story
Jason,
every day.
Jason, what do you think that says about Rogan?
You know what?
You just said.
I think we have our blind spots, bro. Here's the deal. I personally know Alex Jones. I think I kind of pissed him off because the last time that I hosted the show a little month and a half ago, I went hard on McGregor. I took a national platform because I had it. It was the Sunday show. It wasn't just the 4th hour. And I exposed Conor McGregor as the violent serial rapist that he is. Okay? The truth is the truth. I'm not pulling any punches. If COVID-1984 hasn't woken everybody up to these guys don't give a fuck, I don't know what to say. Now, is Rogan, listen, it's tough. I'm not in everybody's personal head, right? I absolutely believe people have blind spots. For instance, I'm going to be speaking at the Clay Clark event, the Reawaken America tour. It's a big Flynn stuff. I'm actually going to be doing a podcast thing in 2 or 3 weeks at the end of end of April in Tulsa, and then I'm going to be speaking at one of the big events. I don't trust half the people there, but you know what? They're letting me get on stage and talk about Dennis Bushnell, NASA, transhumanism, and somebody's been good enough, must be watching my work, to dig up some Bushnell videos. So I've been harping on the fact that he openly talked about in 2011, not only Malthus 101, instituting population control, but they had put 10,000 brain chips in people already. Well, found a 2014 video. He said that number had been up to 40,000. Found him in 2018 It is now 200,000. It is on an exponential level. In 2022, my best guess from the jump and what he is willing to admit is we on the planet right now, we're not talking cochlear implants, okay, have a couple hundred, or I'm sorry, 2 million, probably about 2 million people with brain chips, and they've had super soldiers. We talk about Chinese super soldiers. What fucking planet are we on? We've been GMOing humans, okay, since post-World War II openly. Everybody should read Annie Jacobson's stuff, Area 51, Pentagon's Brain, DARPA. It's all here. The transhumanist nightmare that we're about to live through has already been plotted and almost perfected on a micro level. And now they got Fun Boy with his DARPA projects convincing everybody it's going to be the coolest fucking thing since breakfast that they can listen to Taylor Swift in their head. Who gives a flying rat's ass? So, I'm sorry. You know, this is my first broadcast of the day. I'm a little hyped up. I'm going to be doing Mixed Martial Mindset later. You can get really into it. But, dude, where are you, alternative media? And I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about everybody. This guy is as dangerous as it gets, period.
He likes Dogecoin, so that's good, right? He talked about Dogecoin.
Yeah,
Could he be the
and he
Antichrist?
manipulates false crypto markets on top of it. What a fucking great dude.
Could he be the Antichrist?
I don't think so. He's not purdy enough.
Fair enough.
Everybody thinks he's saving everybody.
He's the Antichrist prophylactic.
He's very divisive. I mean, he does have his fan people out there, but his investment in Twitter, like it's going to save the platform. It could be just like he wants a solid investment. He knows his investment is going to drive up the price of that stock. He'll sell it in a few months, and he'll make another killing.
Well, let me say
it
this.
Could be something as simple as that.
I'm not saying that's not part of it, okay? But I give him credit on one thing. He's one of the few people out there, and I think it's honestly to gain the trust of people like myself that will tell you openly that overpopulation is a myth. It's very rare in the elite circles, right? They usually are very Malthusian. Another one of those people is actually Ray Kurzweil. They'll openly tell you that we're only using about 5% of the usable land for the human species, and that we could multiply by a ton and it wouldn't hurt the planet, and that we can make clean energy, and these technologies are there, and we can empower human beings, right? But I don't trust him because all of his money, listen, man, the electric car has been around for 30 fucking years. How many times did they knock out other businesses? Why did they let him not be profitable for over a decade? How did he get the military-industrial rocket contracts? We're not going to the moon. We're not going to Mars. That is fiction. If you listen to the insiders, even openly, the head of NASA, since the Gemini project, he's been around. His name is Dennis Bushnell. If you're not watching my videos on him, I would encourage you to do so. We're not sending people to these places. We're sending the robots that can do everything the people can do cheaper and better. All right? That's the bottom line. If you think his rocket ships are taking human beings to the moon, again, listen to Bushnell. He'll openly tell you, in order for that type of space travel, we need to, quote unquote, genetically modify and space harden humans against the radiation and the G's. All right? And if you don't think they've been trying to do that, they absolutely have. So, you know, what you need to do is read in between the lines, read the literature they're actually putting out, listen to these people when they're speaking to other multimillionaire and billionaire investors at places like the Fire Project, I think, is one, the Blue Tech Forum, etc. And that's the bottom line, man. But you talk, for instance, even when Kurzweil talks about how overpopulation is a myth, he talks about it in the reference that he's explaining it to one of the heads of the International Monetary Fund. Because she's convinced climate change is real and population is the problem and we don't have enough resources for everybody. And he's like, no, we do. We totally do. and again, it's in that light. I don't, you know, it's that blind spot. I think a lot of people in those upper echelons buy into their own bullshit. They already look at us like fucking insects, man. You know, I was listening to Herman Kahn, who, you know, was a big driving force in not only Kissinger politics, but politics in general, 70s, 80s, World Economic Forum. Johnny Vedmore's done a great piece on it. And although he's in favor of the small businessman and he's outraged when the small businessman gets screwed over and gets, thrown into the welfare state and regulated and taxed, he refers to the entire class of people as the peasant class. And he's part of it. He's no socioeconomically better than most of us at that point. He just rides with these people in the Oxfords of the world, the Harvards of the world, CIA hotbeds. That's how the people at the very top, they don't even look at us as peasants. We're bugs. We're less than bugs. We don't deserve the transhumanist future that they're going to get. We deserve the transhumanist slavery they will provide.
All right. Well, it's getting a little cheery.
It's not about the
Great
food. It's
show,
about keeping
guys.
those
Great
ants in
show.
mind.
Thank you so much. I think there's something to it. I've learned you can't, dude. If you think billionaires are coming to save you, you're delusional. I'm also somebody who likes to sit there and be like, I think you're right. We should do an episode on Elon Musk. I think him, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates, their whole story is a lie. It's all a lie.
Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and what you saw was just a small 10-minute segment of an hour-plus broadcast over at the Union of the Unwanted, where we go way, way further. We get into spirituality and much, much more. I want to encourage you to go check that out either over at the Podbean. It's theinfowarrior.podbean.com. If you have the app, make sure you're subscribing over there. Remember, when we stream live, you can call into the show now via the Podbean app. And, of course, we have it completely uncensored in full over at The Rockfin. I really hope you enjoy it. And make sure to check out Ricky Verandas, Charles from Macro Aggression, and so many others that you see in this. Zach Voorhees' new project. You only see that kind of stuff? Guess where? Over on the uncensored portion of the broadcast via the Rockfin or Podbean. So I just want to say I love you guys. You know where the links are to support me down below, and I'll see you on the flip side.